frequency. Talking truth, talking change, talking all that's real. With Francis Pierre at the wheel. Politics to faith, the latest trend. We talk it out from end to end. And if you've got something to share, pick up the phone, turn it up, read the latest trend.
Welcome to our program On Target. The clock struck 12 and we are here, and you have the opportunity to pick up the telephone and give us a call. The number to call is 442-0175. You're well aware we never have a subject matter, and you can interrupt us at any time. We encourage people to always be respectful to one another. We notice there is a growing slaughter of disrespectful attitudes. When you disagree with somebody, it doesn't mean because you disagree with somebody they're stupid or they're dumb or they're classless or them is commoners. You just disagree with them. And that's the power of the democratic process. In Iran, in Russia, in Cuba, in Venezuela, you don't have that independency of expression. But in Grenada, you have it. In the United States of America, you could damn the president and do not feel that you will be put in prison. So that is a power we have in Grenada. And we must not let anybody take it away from us. The number to call is 442-0175. We on 91.9 and 91.5. That is Real FM. 94.9, that is We Noise FM in Brooklyn, New York. We always encourage you to share our program. Help us to grow. We are a small population, but based upon the internet, if you subscribe to our program, you could help us to grow. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good day, Mr. Pierre.
Yes,
and
my brother.
The audience. I just joined you. I don't know whether the new ball or not.
Yes, you have the new ball. It's brand new. It's shining. So you have it in your hand.
Correct. Mr. Pierre, I want to say that I heard that the movement will be having some sort of political meeting this afternoon in Sates. Well, it's their right. I mean, that is their right to have meeting wherever they feel. But as I said it before on your program, and I want to say it again, to the leader of the movement, let him know that Mongrich, don't forget him. Mongrich, don't forget him and the surrounding area. He personally had the power. He had the privilege. He sat in a meeting which said, kill all Mongrich people. Stedman could testify and many more. Stedman called on him for help in Richmond prison. He never knew who is talking to him. The movement is just wasting their time, I could say. Because I heard the philosophy of this party. They know fully well that they don't have the answer to Grenada. But they said they come there to see if they could handbug some other political party like the New National Party. I want to leave Grenadians crazy to waste their vote behind an organization like that. It doesn't make sense. We are already suffering. We already make a mistake and vote a government into office which haven't got a clue of how to handle country affairs. No experience whatsoever, no vision. We are not going back to that situation. Grenadians, I'm warning you. We have an alternative to rescue Grenada this time. Let us go with it. Later, we'll be going to Grenada to hear our political leader as she will deliver her message here to you. A lady who have the everything to takes in the political arena because she passed through a training school. I told my area I would not lead them astray. You have no headache this time. Cost of living is going sky high every day. This government not even making a statement to cushion the effect. No love for the poor people. They don't even want to hear the word vulnerable. Grenadians, take note and don't give yourself no problem. Take note. The entire administration is a waste of time. I rest my case, Mr. Pierre. Thank you.
Yes, scholar, I just want to warn you that once political parties are in race, you must never rule them out. One elderly man decades ago told me, Grenadians don't follow logics. And our political dynamics in Grenada is much different than in the Caribbean. And in Grenada, we have a lot of people who are communists, atheists, and Marxist-Leninists hiding behind socialism. You must never forget that. You have much more people who are atheists and Marxist-Leninists in Grenada than you will believe. So never rule out a party. This new movement seems to be championing the cause of the extremists in the country. And they have every reason to want back power. Power was taken away from them when the Americans rescued Grenada. And they see that is the last opportunity to get it back. I am worried that retributive justice and vengeance will be part of their political agenda. But we must never underestimate any political party that in the race. Our history tells us that. I believe that we have to hold leaders responsible. We in a country that have a very dynamic democratic system. And post-1983, the electoral process has been free and fair. So you got the government you selected. You got the government of your choice. Irrespective of all the lamentation now, people voted the government that they wanted. And we have to accept that responsibility. It's good to say I did not know. But we must know the people who are planning to lead us. We must ask them questions. We must know what they stand for. Because you might be well supporting people who consider you in a lower socio-economic class than them. Who might consider you in a lower class than them. And they're likely to treat you worse. But you could find out about these people if you ask questions. and listen to them intently. They're from our community. You know their history. You know their association. If you are a Christian and you vote a hardline Muslim in power, then when laws are passed, you ought to know that you contributed to that. Today, the government of Grenada insists that they want 12 years old to be responsible for the sexual responsibility. Where this thing come up? Nobody knew that was an issue in Grenada. But all of a sudden, in the dark of night, in the heat of the carnival season, the government tried to sneak into Parliament these two bills. Without any consultation from any organization in Grenada. No consultation. They tried to sneak in a bill that dropped the age of sexual responsibility to 12, but also emasculate the power of the parents to guide their children's development. I have not heard a grumble from the trade union. Most of the civil organizations in this country that used to be jumping up at the drop of a hat, they remain silent. Because passing these laws is in keeping with the objectives of the atheists and the communists among us. Some of them pretend to be saltless Christians, so the palatability in the country will increase. And we can't blame anybody. I constantly say one of the biggest challenges we have is the blame game. You have a lot of our success stories and intellectuals. They want reparation from the white man for slavery. Well, I always say, if you get money, take. If money fall like manna, take. But the black man is more guilty for slavery because they sold their children for 700 years. The black man has been selling slaves before the white man gone by. Look today in Grenada. We have a prime minister that if he had the power, he's selling all them poor NNP. He's selling them. He declared that some people in Grenada is classless and commoners. I can't believe, difficult for me to digest, that 50 years after independence, black Grenadians, the children of labor, children whose parents was poor as church mice, children who had an opportunity to go to university, to come back and help develop the rest, let that certification fly up in their head. And they put themselves in a privilegencia class. And what worries me, they have so much support of Grenadians to know that they're in a bigger class than ordinary man. How are we going to develop the country? A small country like Grenada, if some of our intellect believe they're in a superior class, then how you going to develop the country? If you start a group in any one of the rural communities and you decide to leave out certain members of families, that group going to mash up. Our communities are like a pillar. Yes, scholar, welcome.
After you say you have a message in a home, eh? You have a father or is it a husband a home? And things was going good. Things was going good. And happened that husband and wife have misunderstanding. And you find the husband, that husband, always running, leaving the family and running. He can't take hardship. He can't take hardship, running. He run from one wife to another wife. He end up with an next lady again. He going hard again. He running. Never to understand how to face the difficult time. Children, he leave the children home with the wife. And he go and pick up an next lady. And the wife had to stay home and take care of his children, and he did with the next one and next lady. And so I consider any man running from 1, 2, 3 different women. I only see join women as an example. Well, you know what I can. He's not a man you can put into trust to take in charge of your country. In the good and the bad times, a leader and a regular leader, a leader cares about people, will be able to stand with people in the bad time. So in a bad time, when the situation is not going good, I hope the husband is wanting to be the leader and not to run away because he don't get what he or she don't get what he wants. Because he wanted something now, but it is not time for you to get. Your time will come. So you have to persevere. You have to have patience. And Grenadian cannot put the trust in any leader. They're running for one way, one to other. That leader is solid and stable. A leader should be stable and in the good and bad time stand and fight the hard time with the family. If we elect a leader, many Grenadian people they don't know about about. He have nice smile, dressing nice, very nice. But that shouldn't make him a leader. What makes someone a good leader is the one that to stand up in the hard time and when difficult times come, stand up and fight the battle with his children as a leader and give guidance and care and love to your children, not to run away from responsibility.
Yeah.
And I call upon the people going to this market. We all made a mistake in 2022, and we vote someone that have so many plans, so many promises that is impossible to fulfill. But the greater people fall for that. We have to learn from our mistake.
Yeah.
Cannot go back and make it the same mistake that we did the last time.
Okay.
We have a leader, never pass, that tested, go through the test. They know how to fight and they know how to stand and how to reach out to bring on the high cost of living, to buy medication, to put in the hospital, and to make sure the people of Greater Character from the market get a job to do, to take care of the farmers, to send the children to school, to buy food for them to put on the table.
Yes,
And
scholar.
this party is only party to anything.
Yes, scholar.
Mr. Pierre, have a break.
Yes, scholar. Scholar, you have to remember that in politics, some people take a ride on a cars. That is one of the issues a lot of Grenadians are not. People ride on a cars based upon the political agenda of some people. They can't tell you what is the political agenda. They wouldn't tell. Maurice Bishop would not have said, I'm going to jail you. I'm going to jail Dr. Japal. I'm going to jail Kenny Lalsin. He could not have said that. Maurice Bishop tell the Rastafarians he's going to legalize weed. He eat with them. He drink with them and then he jail them and send them in the cow pen. Because communism color cannot be presented It is not a palatable ideology. So those who are left-wing extreme, they can't tell you that. They have to hide. And that is why they have to take a ride on a political party back. The only way you're going to know these things, if you ask them questions. We're living in a society that is more Christian-like. So a hardline Muslim wouldn't come and tell you he go marry 3 wives and Allah said to kill your enemies. A Muslim wouldn't tell you he go kill Jews and infidels and Christians. He wouldn't tell you that. He go hide. And when he put in power, the Christians go have to run like in Nigeria now. The number to call is 442-0175. That is why we have to be wise. We have to ask questions. We're going to have a lot of new people putting up themselves to run for election. In a lot of instances, it's not about care about people anymore. You see the group of thieves we have now. A group of thieves we have leading us now. They flaunted the law in the Grenada Development Bank and they take money by legal means. So you have to question people to know if they are of that inking. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good day, Mr. Pierre. How you doing, sir?
Go right, yes, caller, good.
You know, I'm surprised of Grenadians. Now, guess what? Since in August, the U.S. asked Grenada for two requests. One is to let migrants come here. The other one, I believe, is to put the radar system in Grenada. The AG said that they said no to the U.S. to the migrant issue. But she never gave an answer what they say for the radar. It's in August. Now, when the information leaked to the public and the reaction of the public, Prime Minister was in Nigeria and Ghana over there. When he came back, they asked him a question. What answer did they give the U.S.? He's going to give the answer in Parliament. Well, one. No, he's saying that now, based on, I can't quote him as he said, but basically, he's playing what you call a game. Because the U.S. is going to wait for August, September, October, November for an answer. Totally don't wait for that. 3 days ago, there was an interview on 60 Minutes with Donald Trump. And the reporter asked him a question. Is Maduro days numbered? He said, yes, Maduro days are numbered. So the U.S. are already in planning stage, or have plans drawn up already to go into Venezuela. So I believe that Grenada get the answer long time already. So the games that Grenada is playing and say that, well, they're waiting still to have this and have that. It's just a game with the public. And the reason why you said something earlier on there, that the communists in Grenada here pressured the Prime Minister. So he's afraid to open his mouth and say what answer he gives. Because they're so powerful in this country. And he realized that. So he's playing a game with them also, playing the horse game. And I don't know how that is going to play out, playing the horse game. Because you're the Prime Minister. You're supposed to set the tone and the playing field for the country. But to me, playing like, you know what, I can answer now because I don't wait still, you know. So something is kind of wrong with Grenada and where we are headed. And our Prime Minister is not leading us in the right way. Have a nice day, brother.
Well, the Prime Minister of Grenada is leading an independent, sovereign country, and he could tell the United States, go to hell. And the United States is an independent, sovereign country, and they could tell Grenada, we will see you in hell. Most of our leaders in the Caribbean are not seeking the interests of their people. They're championing their own personal agenda. Yes, caller, welcome.
I am the voice of one crying out in the wilderness.
You
Senior.
have the medium to cry, Chief.
How are you, Senior?
Great, man.
Senior, our Prime Minister and the authority in Nigeria, they have a very tight and a very good relationship. But when I look at the news and look at the atrocity that is taking place in Nigeria against Christian people, I call on the Prime Minister of Grenada, Honorable Deacon Mitchell, to condemn such an atrocity against Christian people in the state of Nigeria. This is a country that you love because you have very good relationship with Nigeria. As it relates to the request that the United States of America has made, Mr. Prime Minister, you are playing a cat and mouse game. You are playing a cat and mouse game. I know that you would tell them definitely no. You would not give them the permission. Because once you tell them yes and you give them the permission and they invade Venezuela, you have a lot to lose. Because you have a very good relationship with Venezuela as a communist state, and you have a very good relationship with Russia as a communist state. So, symbologically speaking, you would have benefit because you want to go down the road of Maurice Bishop. So, seeing that Russia have a very good relationship with Venezuela, whatsoever you would have get like support from Russia, it would have come through Russia, and it would have come through Venezuela, and from Venezuela to Grenada. I said like Mr. Ronald Reagan, President Trump, you get to overthrow the government of Venezuela just in time for Grenada not to experience another era as the era as Maurice Bishop. Thank you, Senior. Take it back.
Yes, and interesting one. The Prime Minister, the number of Christians are being executed. You see, Christians in Grenada, particularly pastors, you must get a Quran. You must read the Quran. Because sometimes I see the conflict and the objections of Christians with Christians. But Christians are no threat to Christians. The biggest threat to Christianity is Islam. Muhammad said to kill the Jews and to kill Christians. Muhammad said to kill your enemy. Jesus Christ said love your enemy. So in Nigeria today, you have an upsurge in the amount of Christians that have been slaughtered. And some of them been calling on Donald Trump. And Donald Trump has declared Nigeria as a country of concern. That alone is enough to encourage the Nigerian government to cut down on the slaughter of the Christians. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre. Good
Yes,
afternoon.
my brother.
Mr. Pierre, did you get a chance to look at the Parliament yesterday?
Not all of it.
All right. Well, what is done is done. But the Prime Minister had an interview last night with a session of Game with the PM at Camp CC. So you realize now they are targeting the younger folks, particularly the tertiary schools.
That is good politics.
The 16 years old. Yes.
It's good politics.
Right? And something that stood out to me also with that is that somebody asked him about his socks, his color of his socks. I think it was one of the hosts. And his response was he couldn't find any more African suits to wear. Mm-hmm. And they think that's why they joke, eh? But I look at him and I said to myself, my God, this guy is no longer a Grenadian.
You ever
Look at
was?
Joseph Andal's attire in yesterday. He's wearing African attire.
Joseph Arnold had
So
African
these
attire
men,
too?
yes, yeah.
Well, you didn't see you didn't see when
Last
they
week-
palpating that which was around his neck. You didn't see the African fella massaging Deacon hand.
Mr. Pierre, Mr. Pierre, let me tell you, these guys are already identity, whatever God knows, right? We are seeing what is happening clearly. They are trying to silence the opposition. They want to go decent. They want to have one party. But let me remind people like AJ and any NMP also has support. NMP as a government won their 3 times. It is a party to be reckoned with. And all of these people, they are experienced more than all of the people in NDC. This morning, I listened to Mr. Ronald after the apology to the Parliament for a statement. That's one of many apologies they have to make. Including the commissioners for lying to Grenada, and the police Grenada, including the court for lying to Grenada. All of them, they have to give us for a miss on what they do. The one that says child Romans is self-alive. I mean, these are the things they're taking Grenada for food, for watching. Yeah? Unfinished roads, unfinished projects, modern houses that nobody living in there. Money gone from Chris. Come on. How much more can we do? But then a guy comes and says, praise become? Praise become for what? You don't praise man. You praise the Jew better. You don't let come from man. We can do something good, we will say they do something good. But that is not our job. Our job is to call them and mislead. And that is what we're doing. Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, scholar. You see, I remember in the 70s, 80s, there was a flood of patriotism going around. And we used to take strong objection to individuals who went to Trinidad. And when they come back in a few days, they're salty. And if they go to Barbados, they're speaking like a Bajan. And if they go to Jamaica, it's a bombo. And when they go to Guyana, it's a pateke. They change the language from country to country. I told you Ollie Deacon was a fake. Deacon claimed he's the one to sell Grenada. But every country he goes, he dressed in the national attire. How could you sell Grenada by visiting a country and adopting the national attire? It wasn't forced on you. It was a fake. When the Prime Minister was asking to be an interlocutor, he went to Venezuela and he adopted the domino or the insignia or the attire. That is the Grenadian that claimed he is selling Grenada. I always ask the question, who sent Deacon Mitchell? Who sent him? And some of the journalists in Grenada, well, I don't think they're more, those who declare themselves as independent. And I have no problem if the government have a mouthpiece or the government have a journalist. But when you decide to play games, then that is what I take issue with. The Prime Minister visit a state in Nigeria, not Nigeria government. The Prime Minister could have gone to the Nigeria government, visit the Minister of Agriculture, even if he wanted something from a particular state. So millions of dollars was spent in the Prime Minister traveling. And while he was traveling, under his very ministry, you had gross unproductivity. A number of projects stalled and stagnation, corruption galore. And the Prime Minister was in disguise. From Dubai, it used to be St. Kitts and St. Lucia, then Dubai to Nigeria. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller.
Mr. Pierre, do you know the terminology of psychobionetics?
No, caller, I don't even have an idea what that means. Break down
You know
that
what-
to me, please.
you know
Remember,
what
caller,
psychobionetics mean?
I'm an ordinary rustico. So break down this thing.
You're not an ordinary.
Break down this word for me.
You are.
Caller,
you are
break down this word. What do you mean by
Mr.
that?
Pierre, let me make
Break
my-
down this word because you're asking me question. You have an opportunity to make
I'm
statement.
asking you the question.
You asking me question. If you
Oh,
ask me
what-
question, you don't want me answer.
Hold on. You say you don't know, so I'm going on. I'm trying to explain certain things to you, so you'll get the gist in what I'm saying. What's the modus operandi of your program?
Because I tell you once, if I was teaching you and flogging you, you head hard, you know. Let me tell you again. Let me tell you again, caller. I have a program on the radio for 1 hour.
Right.
No, caller, listen to me. No clear subject matter. I encourage anybody to call. Why did I come on radio? Because I heard radio station kicks in on people whose English no good. And I'm a man who have a strong bias for education because I'm not satisfied about the productivity level in the education system. These are the two reasons that brought me on radio. So my program is open for anybody to call, and I encourage them to
So now I
punch.
get the essence
Don't
of
waste
what you're
time.
saying. I get the essence of what you're saying. And I also, with one thing you did not make it clear, that one of your priority is also to try to bring information to dismantle the progress of the National Democratic Congress under the leadership of Deacon Mitchell. That is also, right? That is also your priority.
Caller. The person you're talking about is a fake. He's poor
Right.
people terrorist.
So whether
He's a
or not-
vulture. I don't have to bring any information.
Okay, so whether or not...
So say
now,
what you're saying.
I could also call in and say you're a fake because the information
Nothing is
that you're
wrong with
saying-
that. You could take it
Hold
with
on.
me.
The information that you're dispersing in terms of what you're saying about the Prime Minister, in terms of his vision for Grenada, then I could say you're fake.
Caller, give me...
Because
Caller. You know what you're doing there? You're wasting time. Give me
No, I'm
three...
not wasting time. I'm telling you.
Caller. Give me 3 visions of the Prime Minister.
Very simple. To educate the public, to revamp education, to understand people how to do business in terms of the leadership of the country, to make education better, agriculture, and to have links with the international bodies so we could have support. And educating the people right here so we understand processes, international as well as local processes, in terms of how to manufacture, how to get along with people, how to connect, how a country should be run, instead of the old kind of a policies that we are accustomed with before under the administration. Hence the reason why the students now are gravitating towards that kind of leadership, because it's totally different to what we had before.
Caller, let me say something.
Look at, for example, the creative.
When I interrupt you, I must stop. Let me say something to you. I want you to do something for me. When the program done, go over and listen to what you said there and see if it makes sense. If they was giving you 10 marks for what you said there, tell me how much marks you're going to get. Go over and listen to what you're saying.
And what I want you to do for me, if what you're saying is truthful, and if it really makes sense in terms of what you're doing, because every day what you're doing is just trying to speak information that is not really true and condemning the Prime
All right,
Minister.
caller, thank you. Thank you, caller. And I always invite people, what am I saying that is not the truth? You may not like what I'm saying, and it's not easy to handle truth. When I say this Prime Minister is a compulsive liar, that is hard to handle. It is very difficult for my cousin Blash or Danley from Ticolo to accept that the leader they have is a liar. But could they refute it? Yes, Colin. Refute it if
yes,
you could.
thanks very much again. Well, I want to respond to this they call KG. I mean, first of all, I already said I'm not accusing him of saying anything, but I know for a fact he's lying. And to be frank with you, he doesn't sound like someone who is convinced about the rhetoric he's trying to push. This guy, whether he was a teacher or what, wherever he was or what, is a very done-said guy. This guy doesn't have any knowledge of any experience of how to deal with people, or as the case may be. And I can tell him plain out, if I were him, I would stop, I would refuse, I would put an end to calling to any radio station to air his views. He has already had a problem with WFM, and well, most people will give him a chance. But Mr. Pierre, I can't tell you how to run your program, but I will tell you, see if you can identify his voice as soon as he calls, and if it's 1 or 2 minutes, that's all. Don't make a discussion, just strip that line. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
We have to be able to discuss issue, and I know it is very difficult for a lot of individuals who are very supportive of NDC to defend that. How you could defend a prime minister like that? Yes, scholar, tell me how you could defend him.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, scholar.
Mr. Pierre.
Oui.
Yesterday Sunday, right?
Yesterday was Tuesday.
No, yesterday Sunday.
All right, okay.
1973.
Yes, yeah.
Was when Maurice Bishop started his attack on the overthrow of the government of Eric Gary. He went to Simoon in what was dubbed the People's Court, and he brought 27 charges against Gary, which he said, which the people decided that Eric Gary was guilty as charged, and that the government must resign by the 18th of November. I'm making this statement today against the background that I know they're going to come on the 18th and talk about Bloody Sunday. But they would not tell you that on the 4th of November at Simoon, that is when Maurice Bishop started one of the most serious problems that we are encountering in Grenada today. And now we have Maurice Bishop as a hero, but Maurice Bishop committed treason to be Prime Minister of Grenada, an offense that is punishable by death. So I want to remind the nation that Maurice Bishop also caused Dame Hilda Bino to run from Grenada. She had to resign and run from Grenada. So when they came to Grenville on the 18th of November, they did not come to buy ice cream from Sugar and Spice. So they were met with some resistance, and they call it a Bloody Sunday. That trouble was started by Maurice Bishop, because Maurice Bishop was greedy for power, and he wanted power by any means. Maurice Bishop is no hero in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. He committed treason, and he ruled the country by the bullet. Have a good evening, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, and when they get the lash on the 18th of November, I'm sorry they didn't get more. At that time, I said, I'm sorry they didn't get more. They don't get enough. Because they went in Simoon and passed a warrant and declared they have a warrant, and Gary must report to the nearest police station in 14 days. So you was correct. When they come in Grenville on the 18th, was not to buy ice cream. They came for war. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre. Let me tell you something about KJ. KJ lived in Beaton. When he was a young boy, his father was a Garyite. He couldn't play with no children. His father didn't used to talk to Beaton people. His father used to run the join a shop in Queen's
But
Park
it's
for
not-
the youth when they come out to school.
But that is
Yeah,
that,
they used to do that.
but that is not
Now just tell
necessarily.
him what.
That is not
the
fair,
kind
you
of
know.
fella he is.
Leave KG
He
alone.
couldn't play with nobody.
Yeah, but leave KG
He
alone.
couldn't play with nobody.
No.
Yeah, he couldn't play with nobody.
Yeah, but we don't want to go
Nobody
down
tell him
there.
he couldn't play. So no word he when he
All right.
he's forcing himself to
Thank
meet
you.
with people.
Yeah.
That's why he's trying to bring himself to meet with people. No
Yes,
word he
sir.
with that stupidness.
But normally we entertain everybody, and we don't want to go down there against individuals. You know, it's not fair. We may differ, but we must able to work hand in hand to develop this country. I have said many times I don't agree with the divisive nature of the government, and I know it's difficult, but we must not try to be very divisive. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Mr. Pierre,
Yes, scholar.
good afternoon to you, sir.
Yes, my brother.
And a pleasant afternoon.
And good to hear your voice. Yeah.
Well, Mr. Pierre, I listen to you on a daily basis, and when I don't, I make sure I record it.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Pierre, I'm a supporter of the movement, but listen, is it okay to call the Prime Minister a thief? Is it okay to call the Prime Minister poor people terrorists? Is it okay to say our Prime Minister is lying like when her strutting? Is it okay to tell the masses that this Prime Minister tell more lies than all Prime Ministers combined? Is it okay to say the worst PM we ever had in Grenada is the present Prime Minister? Are you comfortable in saying he is a fake? And when you say the African man massaging the PM hand, what do you really mean by that? Have a pleasant day, sir.
All right. Thank you, caller. Yes, caller, welcome. Caller, you have a call on the line? Go right ahead.
Yes, yeah. Very interesting topic from the historian, and I've learned a lot.
You didn't know that part of history?
Because
You didn't know that part of history? Yeah? You didn't know this one?
I didn't hear.
In 1973, we were to school.
Yes.
When
yes,
they get some lash,
yes,
and we're
when-
sorry they
I
didn't get
know-
more.
And you know, I was saying that a couple months back, because I think I did get that same story from the historian. Yeah, and when I tell somebody that I was talking to a revolutionary about that, and he telling me, and he tried to justify Bishop action, and I told him, but I said, but the man win properly. I said, if Bishop knew, he had evidence and factual information about Uncle Gary rigging that election, why he did not take Gary to court? Why he have to go in the square? I say Gary, and I should have given him more licks.
But sorry they didn't get more lash?
Yeah.
And I was saying that in 73, you know, they should get more.
Mr. Pierre, and that same year I was born because I'm a 73.
I was in school, a big, in tongue long.
All right.
I in the politics now.
Mr. Pierre, concerning the absence of the opposition. Well, I did not listen to Parliament yesterday, but I think the parliamentary opposition, the opposition parliamentary, have every right to, based on what I am hearing. No, you can just make a date just like that. The first you make a date for Friday. Afterwards, you put it off in the dark of the hour for Tuesday. Right. So then people and them went there. Then on top of that, you don't give them the document. Then people tell you the procedures, how to go about doing that. You just do what you want, holiday. So then people and them don't have their business to do too. They don't have their private business to do. And when they ain't come now, all your vex. When them people come in Parliament, they're giving the advice, they're giving the suggestion, they're giving the debate, they're making a statement. You have MPs disrespecting them into the house. Disrespecting them, people in the house, telling them, shut up, sit down. Oh, why don't I go home? I don't go home and rocking. All this kind of thing, laughing and giggling, strupsing. No, and on top of that again, the first opening of Parliament when this administration win. When I look at the leaflet, not one member on the opposition side was on that. But we have members who was not elect, no parliamentary elect. They was there on the leaflet. That is disrespect to the core. And when the people in them act now, we want to get vexed. No, the people in them have the democracy to exercise too. They have the rights to exercise too. Right? So when we want to do this thing, that is for little children. You cannot put parliamentarian, no, I shouldn't say that way. You should not elect little children in parliament. That is for big people. Responsible and respectable big people parliament. You cannot put little children there and you see all this thing going on. Huh? We have to have some respect. Yeah, that is the highest place in the land and we have to respect it. You understand? That's
yes,
my
caller.
contribution, Mr.
Yes,
P.
caller. Thank you very much. We have a caller on the line? We have room for one caller? Yes, we have room for one caller if you call. And maybe a good note to stay on is November. Today is the 4th of November. Yes, caller, and the caller is with last caller's a punch.
Good day, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, ma'am.
I call on the NMP to do the people work and stop making excuses.
I agree with you. Caller, in full agreement with you.
They invite you to come to the parliament. They had a vote today, Mr. Pierre.
What they voted on?
They voted whether to hold the parliament yesterday or not. And the yes win.
Okay.
They was there. They don't say nothing at all.
What about the bills they vote on? I wasn't able to hear. They vote on the sexual responsibility bill?
They vote on part of it, not the whole thing.
They vote on part of it?
Yes. They vote on the pension scheme. So all the people are over the years, they couldn't get a pension.
Yeah.
They vote to pass it now. So all of them workers and them working, they'll get a income.
Right.
They vote on the citizens by investment program. They vote that they will be here in Grenada. Grenada will be the headquarters right now from after 3 months then, when everything finalized. Grenada will be the headquarters site from that time onwards. And I believe it was a very good bill. And the NMP, they failed to make a contribution. They should be ashamed of themselves. These people, shame. You have important bill as that. And that's
Caller, you don't feel that if they agree, the regulations state that they should consult with them on the date. You don't feel the speaker should consult with them?
They consult with them by asking kind of vote.
I like what you said.
They call a vote in the Parliament of Grenada. They call a vote for yesterday.
They consult with them by telling them.
Can a vote?
All right, okay.
But that's part of the procedure.
Yes, thank you, caller. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So it's a good note to start on. They say consultation sometimes is informing you after the fact. But based upon the regulation, as I understand it, both sides could agree on the date. And it was not hard to hold a 5-minute caucus and discuss the date. I mean, we shouldn't. It is always good when both sides is there to contribute to the bill. The government would have been better for it. So be that as it may, the ayes have it. So whether the opposition objected or not, the bill would have gone through. But I think a good note to stop on for history's sake is 1973. Maurice Bishop led perhaps thousands of people or hundreds of people in Simoon and gave Gary 27 charges. And he went in the People's Court. He called it the People's Court. So when you hear in the People's Court by NDC now, you know where he come out. And they say they found Gary guilty and gave him 14 days to report to the nearest police station. I remember that time, strong debate with some of my colleagues who was very supportive of the alliance, of Bishop. How could you go in Simoon and sign a warrant for the arrest of the Prime Minister? So everybody waiting for the 14th to see what will happen. So when Maurice Bishop and Unison Whiteman and Radex and Selwyn Strong, and I can't remember who are the others, come up in Grenville on that day, they didn't come to buy ice cream. As far as the gay rights concerned, they came for war. And they got a flogging. And Innocent Belma was the one who saved them. But they lied in the Duffers Commissioner report. They said Innocent Belma was the one who ordered to beat them. They lied. Radek said after, if it wasn't for Innocent Belma, the leader of the opposition would not have been alive. Selwyn Strong would not have been alive. Unison Whiteman would not have been alive. I would not have been alive. Innocent Belma is a complex man. When they went to the Duffers Commissioner report, they lied. And when they come in Grenville on the 18th, they didn't come to buy ice cream. They signed a warrant for the arrest of Eric Gary on the 18th. And they gave him on the 4th of November. And they gave him 14 days to report to the nearest police station. So at that time, I and others, sorry, they didn't get more lash at that time. But that is part of our history. Maurice Bishop was a lawyer. At that time, his team was with a battery of lawyers. Radex was a lawyer. Lloyd Noel was a lawyer. And none of them was lawyers. But all the excesses that they claim, they never challenged it in court. There was no evidence. They manufactured propaganda. And that is why they never brought it in the court. They wanted to create disturbances in the country. And they manufactured propaganda and flaunted around. And I fully support them getting some lash. On the 18th, in 1973, in November. And that is part of our history too. And you're welcome back to our program tomorrow when the clock strikes 12. Thank you very much.
Politics to turn it up. Real FM, ride the frequency. Talking truth, talking change, talking all that's real. With Francis Pierre at the wheel. Politics to faith, the latest trend. We talk it out from end to end. And if you've got